Hey, everybody, it's Reed. Happy Saturday. I hope everyone is safe and healthy. If you have not gotten involved in election 2024, please do go to jointheunion.us. That's jointheunion.us. We have almost 4,000 volunteer opportunities, guys. And if you want to help keep us on the road, our friend Joe Walsh will be on the road for us in Arizona this coming weekend. Please hit that donate button too. Can always use your help keeping us out there. So I want to talk about the election and what's going to happen right before and right after. And we're already seeing it. I want to start with JD Vance. He did an interview with the New York Times in which 5 different times reporter Lulu Garcia Navarro asked Vance whether or not Donald Trump won or lost the 2020 election. And once again, just like he did with Governor Tim Walz, he refused to answer. Instead, he tried to flip it to that Twitter and the social media companies had put the kibosh on the Hunter Biden laptop story. And that was the reason that Trump lost. And here's the new piece of it, guys. Now they're saying that because Twitter, Facebook, all these people did this, that it cost Trump millions of votes. And that's why he lost. Now, remember that if you're willing to lie about anything like Vance and Trump are, you're willing to lie about everything. So now, guys, it was election interference. Remember the ridiculous 2,000 Mules story of Georgia, where they were moving ballots around, or Matt Schlapp and all these idiots in Nevada talking about how they saw people moving stuff around in pickup trucks, or in Philadelphia where, you know, a guy in a postal van drove off the road. But now they're adding that social media, which, remember, is dominated by either libertarian or right-wing wackos, is now in on it, right? And that this cost them millions of votes. It did not. It is bullshit. And we should remember that. This is, again, guys, part and parcel to the whole operation of disqualifying the legitimacy of the November 5th election, whether or not Donald Trump wins or not, right? If he wins, they'll say it was the most perfect election. If he loses, which they don't believe is possible at this point, right? He will say it was stolen from him. He will say that there's no possible way it could have happened. And they will say, look what's happened again. Social media, the grand left-wing conspiracy, George Soros, whatever the case might be, anything but the idea that more people wanted Kamala Harris to be president than wanted Donald Trump back. And so, guys, it's important to understand that over the course of the next 3.5 weeks, that this is going to ramp up. And remember, it's not for them to, quote unquote, steal the election, as if my vote for Kamala Harris suddenly turned to a vote for Donald Trump. It's the idea that enough Americans would believe that there was no way to know who really won, right? Throw enough sand in the gears and enough dust in the air so that no one can say, well, who really won? Was it Harris? Was it Trump? I don't know. We need to leave this to the states. Oh, we can't leave it to the states. We need to leave it to Congress. We need to make it a contingent election, right? Where Congress decides who the next president will be by delegation. Remember, guys, this is each state gets one vote. Republicans have a majority of state delegations. They would make Donald Trump president, whether or not Kamala Harris won the popular vote or whether or not Kamala Harris won the electoral college vote. And so, guys, we have to understand the nature of this. They are learning creatures. They are learning creatures. They learned after 2020 what they did wrong. It was ad hoc. They didn't know what they were doing. They're not going to make those mistakes again. After January 6th, yes, 900 or 1,000 people who stormed the Capitol have been given fines or prison sentences, but no one who planned it and executed it has served any real sanction. They've learned from this. And now what they're doing is ensuring that in 60 or 90 key counties around the country, right? Steve Bannon, Roger Stone, they're all working on this. Bannon did this before he went to prison. I'm sure he's on the phone every day trying to figure out how to mastermind it again. Guys, this sounds crazy. I get it. It does sound crazy, but this is the time we're in. We should not let the challenge to our imaginations cloud the reality of what's happening. And so, guys, if you see something, say something. If you believe that there's a friend who's not sure whether or not they're going to vote, but if they vote, they're going to vote for Kamala Harris, get them to the polls. If there's someone you know who's not registered, get them registered. If you have a Republican friend who you know isn't a fan of Donald Trump, but isn't sure about Kamala Harris, ask them to vote their conscience, which is, you want to leave it blank? Leave it blank. I used to call it flip it or skip it, right? If you can't vote for Kamala Harris and you can't vote for Donald Trump, plenty of other people you can vote for on that ballot, right? 51,000 Wisconsinites in 2020, Republicans, didn't vote for Trump. He lost. And so, guys, if you can get involved, please get involved. If you're a poll watcher or a poll worker, understand all of your rights and responsibilities and the things that you can and must do in those jobs, right? We should not be surprised if lone wolves, right, spurred on by Trump's lies and disinformation, try and show up and cause trouble, right? We should call on local and state law enforcement to make sure that polling places are safe and secure, and that anybody wishing to cast a ballot has the opportunity to do so. And so, guys, I just want to say thank you for all of your hard work. I want to say thank you for listening. Please check out the Substack Homefront and the Homefront podcast. Find me on Twitter and TikTok at Reed Galen, on Instagram and Threads at Reed_Galen USA. Thanks for all you're doing, everybody, and I'll see you next week.